Amidst the protests from the opposition, the BJP government in Karnataka on December 9th passed the controversial Karnataka Prevention of Slaughter and Preservation of Cattle Bill 2020. This bill has enforced a practical blanket ban on beef in the southern state. The BJP government did this by redefining beef as a meat of cattle other than buffaloes above the age of 13 years. While the BJP is calling this bill historic, experts are saying that this bill is problematic. The Quint spoke with several experts to understand why this bill is problematic and what are its implications. One of the first objections to the bill is the punishment prescribed. As per the bill, a person can be jailed for up to 7 years and can be fined for up to 5 lakh rupees if he is caught slaughtering cattle. We spoke with Bengaluru-based lawyer Maitreyi Krishnan to understand what are the legal aspects of this particular bill.
The offences are made cognizable, which means an arrest can take place without a warrant, and the abetment of an offence carries the same punishment. Just to put the penalties in a context, Section 304A provides for punishment for death caused due to rash and negligence as 2 years, and this is of a human being, whereas sale of cattle has a minimum punishment of 3 years. And it is in this context that we really need to understand the way in which the penalty has been so dramatically increased.
The second problem flagged by experts are the powers given to the police to raid and seize any property on mere suspicion. Experts say this could lead to further harassment.
The law completely invades the fundamental right to privacy, even as it allows for search and seizure by a police officer not below the rank of a sub-inspector or a competent authority. Competent authority defines to mean a tahsildar or a veterinary officer who has quote-unquote reason to believe that an offence has been committed. This term is obviously very vague. With the history of vigilantism, one can only imagine the manner in which the basic right of privacy is going to be violated with such a provision.
The problems with this bill are not just limited to the legal aspects. Since there are no provisions to protect a farmer, this is called anti-farmer bill as well. A farmer who cannot maintain his cattle now doesn't have an option to sell it, and this could lead to abandonment of cattle. At the same time, if he is not able to sell his cattle, he doesn't have the funds to buy new cattle as well. Karnataka Law Minister Madhuswamy said that the government will set up cow shelters to take care of abandoned cattle. However, this process requires the farmers to go to already understaffed veterinary offices to get permissions. Also, the government has not released any funds to set up these cow shelters so far. In 2018, when the Uttar Pradesh government introduced a similar bill in their state, they had difficulties in taking care of these abandoned cattle. At one point, they had to turn schools and hospitals into cow shelters to take care of abandoned cattle. Another point of contention is the nutritional factor. The Supreme Court in 1955 had noted that beef is the cheapest form of nutrition available for those from the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes, many of whom have low incomes. We spoke with Dr. Sylvia, a public health doctor and researcher, to understand this aspect.
Even going by the statistics that are disclosed in data, it's about 15% of Indians who consume beef, and in Karnataka that translates to about 9 lakh people. And this is a huge number, and you are basically taking away a source of nutrition, something that people are used to eating culturally, and then you're not replacing it. Is the government going to subsidize mutton? Is it going to provide lamb at the same cost as beef? It's not going to do that. So it is basically an attack on people's cultural rights, on people's nutritional rights.
The biggest concern, however, is regarding cow vigilantism. The state has already seen several instances of violence related to cow slaughter, especially in the coastal region. Experts fear the provisions in this law could lead to more violence in the state.
Murder of Mohammad Akhlaq, the manner in which 4 young Dalit men were beaten and stripped in Una. In 2017 in Karnataka, in Kundapura, Udupi, a marriage party of the Koraga community was stopped, family members were beaten, assaulted on the allegation that they had beef. So one can only imagine the way in which lives are going to be destroyed by this kind of unbridled power and the kind of unimaginable havoc that is really going to be caused by it. This provision also has to be seen with the another provision which actually provides that any action taken in good faith in furtherance of the act would be protected, which means that you can have complete violation of the most basic right of privacy, and your actions are, and the actions of such a person is going to be protected under this law. This is absolutely dangerous.